Hello and welcome to Torg Tuesdays. I am JM, your GM, and we are back with well, I can't really say the Horsemen, but we're with about 60% of the Horsemen. But before we get into that, I am just very excited to be back. Thank you to everyone who tuned in last week for the rewind run. For this first quarter, we're going to go to a slightly different schedule on the Ulysses stream. We're going to go 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off with all of the streamed games. But you can check out all of the great stuff we have over on the Iconic channel. I'm also going to be running Jackals next week if you are at all interested. It will be there on Tuesday nights on the Iconic. But even more importantly, if you love Torg as much as we do, and I know some of you love Torg more than we do, the Orosh crowdfunding is live today. And it went live today, and in only 8 hours, it has already blown past its initial funding goal and is well into stretch goals. So for right now, if you go to GameOnTabletop.com, it's one of the first things you'll see if you just go to GameOnTabletop.com. There's 21 days left. It's already, as I said, at about 300% of its funding goal, which means in addition to all of the great things you get in the standard Orosh backing, they've unlocked the Orosh Zone map. A physical map is available in the casket, so you can either buy all the stuff a la carte, or you can get the big box, which, if you know anything about us, we love the big box and everything that's coming in there. They've unlocked the Gauntman bookmark, and they are... And they've unlocked the Core Earth Magic PDF that gives examples of magic that's specific to the Core Earth Cosm. We're less than $1,000 away from the Orosh threat blips, which are the little tokens that have all of the Orosh threats on them. You get a PDF, unless you're getting the casket, in which case you get the physical blips with the box. So go and check that out. And if you're already a backer and you did not hear, they have a raffle going on. You can check out, if you back the project, you can check out in the announcements. Eric's got a great start plus the raffle reminder post. There are different ways to engage with that. There's different ways to get entries into drawings. So again, GameOnTabletop.com. Check it out. Orosh, it's the Cosm we're heading to next, possibly tonight. So, we are here. When we last left off, our delightful trio of Storm Knights made it to the Tunguska Crater, which they have been journeying towards for months. They got there ahead of Volkov's army, but not by very much. Going up and over the rim, they descended into the bowl of the crater. Caldera is for volcanoes. We're going to go with the bowl of the crater. Into the forest, and sneaking in, they heard chanting. They heard mystical, arcane incantations being broadcast over crappy, old-school, like, megaphone speakers on the top of telephone poles. And that was the last pleasant thing that happened that night. V cut the chanting, bringing Grigori's attention to them, and unleashing a hornet's nest worth of Spetsnaz. In the middle of the fight, V and Edith, don't want to say God rest his soul, but whatever deity Pazuzu believed in, rest his soul? Pazuzu was gunned down, buying V and Edith time to escape into the woods, freeing up one NPC slot for the group to fill with somebody else later on. Tyrannic jumped in a truck, hot-wired it. The trucks were parked around a bunch of dim thread trees through which a prisoner was taken, and nobody knows where. Through the dim thread trees dim thread trees lead to other places in the in Core Earth and the other cosms connected to Core Earth. Tyrannic took a running drive at one of the telephone poles, which gave over much easier than I think he expected. And Tyrannic went flying into the pit, managing to leap out of the pit with a little help from Peaches. Tyrannic, as usual, gets by with a little help from his friends. And we left 2 weeks ago with Tyrannic literally on a cliffhanger, holding to the edge of this cliff as Rasputin's heir and a group of Spetsnaz with rifles pointed at him approached. So, of course, we're going to start with V and Edith out in... no, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you, Michael. We're going to start right there. So you can hear... You can't really see, right? You're hanging from the edge of this crater that... or this shaft that has been bored down in the center of the crater. You can hear the sound of boots crunching on gravel. You can hear the sound of the... electrical cables that were connecting to the poles. You can, if you look to your right, you can see two of them writhing against the wall of the shaft like electric serpents. And their writhing is bringing them a little bit closer to you, and then they sort of bounce away, and then they sort of draw a little nearer, and you can just hear the crunching. And then you hear a voice. Weren't you Lapus's pet dinos?
So I'm gonna climb up out of the crater and have a little chat with Grigori.
All right, so you do so. As you climb out, you can see that there are half a dozen Spetsnaz. These soldiers. They currently all have AN-94 assault rifles pointed down at you, and Rasputin's there. He's got his hands behind his back, tucked into the wrists of his robe. You can see the black, oily rosary prayer beads that are hanging around his neck, but they don't end in a cross. They end in a strange... what almost seems to be like a Chinese character, also made out of the same black oily wood. In fact, it looks wet, as if you were to reach out and touch it, your fingers would come away slick.
All right. Well, so Grigori's right in front of me?
He's not right in front of you. The six have made sort of a ring, and Grigori is kind of about 4 meters back from the lip of them. So these guys are ready to, you get the feeling that if you try anything, these guys are very much the shoot first, shoot it again, shoot it a third time to make sure it's dead, and then ask for orders sort of soldiers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk to Grigori. So I'm
okay.
I'm going to say, Grigori, you know who I am, and you need to shut your pretty mouth. And I am going to play the romance card
on Grigori.
On Grigori. We can't fight this feeling anymore. The sexual tension is palpable between us.
As JM frantically flips through his drama deck. Play to encourage an amorous relationship between you and an NPC character, or non-player character. Gain 3 possibilities.
Did you see that coming, JM?
Here's the thing about Torg, man. I never see anything coming. If you were a GM that enjoys flying by the seat of her or his pants, Torg is the game for you. Grigori strokes his wild, brillowy, bushy beard. Perhaps you are right, Tyrannic. Perhaps we have much to speak of. You four, bring him to my house. I will meet you there. I have to finish. No. The second seal is unlocked. Volkov will be pleased with the progress. You can hear the sounds of gunfire coming from the woods. Perhaps if you give me what I want, I will set the signal to just capture your friends instead of the current order. Come, we have much to discuss.
I'm not that kind of lizard, so we're gonna have to take things very slow.
Bring him, and they all, like, 4 of them lay hands on you and start dragging you towards Grigori's shack. I feel like I could make a ton of the shack jokes, but I won't.
You're not dead!
You're not dead, but I'm not entirely sure you're in a better position. Edith and V. Pazuzu is dead. Tyrannic, the last you saw was you are in the woods. Chat, I appreciate all of your comments as usual. And before I forget, let's just again, I feel like they're sort of the unsung heroes of this. Big round of applause, both in chat and out, to our wonderful producer JD and to our ever helpful Phantom of Truth. I will come back to that chat, I promise. V and Edith, you were in the woods. Somehow in a better situation. What are you guys doing?
Look, he's not hanging off a cliff, rolling to make sure he doesn't fall in. So, you know, I'm very happy. I was following Edith as we try and wind our ways through the trees to maybe get eyes on Tyrannic.
So Edith, how are you headed through this?
Are you reading the chat? This is
I
hilarious.
am definitely reading the chat. Apparently, your romance cover is called Scales of Lust. Greg, you get a possibility, buddy. I know you kind of you're deep in the weeds of Torg, but I feel like that was totally worth it. So Edith, how are you leading V through the forest?
So we're just. I think I rolled last time for being like deceiving our pursuers, and
you did. I have that. So, but like, what is sort of your plan?
Yeah. So the initial plan was to get some cover between us and the pursuers, and then we were gonna double back and try to help Tyrannic. But I don't know what's going on anymore.
None of us do, Edith. None of us do. All right, so as you guys are headed through the forest, you can, Edith, you are a monster hunter. You are familiar with good hunting tactics. You are familiar with kind of operating as part of a larger group. And the people who are tracking you through the forest, they are some of the best you've ever seen. They are spreading out. They are maintaining line of sight to each other. You can see that they are moving slowly and methodically as they track you through the woods. There is another massive rumble up from the ground. You can actually hear what sounds to be a very gut-wrenching and terrified screech coming up from the center of camp, but it is large enough and loud enough that like leaves are being shaken from trees. You can actually hear the sounds of trees cracking closer to the camp as you kind of move around. So I'm going to need Edith. I want you to give me a stealth check with Genevieve helping you. You're going to get an extra +1 to the final roll, and I'm taking into account your trick from last session.
I was an 11.
How would you like to spend anything?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to spend anything on this roll?
Oh, do I still have to have cards in play already?
You are not in combat.
Very good. I'm going to play an action card. Add +3 to the total of your test.
Okay.
So 14.
All right. So with a 14. All right. So Edith, you and V have a good success against the Spetsnaz as you are taking it through the forest. So you manage to circle around to the far side of the camp, and you can again see that the soldiers are some of them are packing things up that seem to have come out of the scree and the slag that was mined out of the pit. They're putting them into crates, and they are sending them back towards the direction you came, towards where all of the dim thread trees were. And you can see, right, most of the buildings I described were kind of those prefab, concrete kind of barrack buildings. But as you guys come around, you can clearly see 4 of these soldiers push Tyrannic into what seems to be a ramshackle build shack. And Grigori is speaking to the last 2, talking back and forth. And he keeps looking to the shack and kind of running his fingers through his beard, as if to try and straighten them with finger combs.
Love Shack. Do, do.
I was totally going to use that. But that's what you see as they kind of push Tyrannic into the shack. 2 of the guards go in. 2 of them stand at the door. And as you watch, Rasputin's heir moves into the love shack. Tyrannic, you...
Not sure how to play this one.
I got the the chat. Oh, all right. So as you enter this, you can see that it is definitely just a very simple wooden, like dirt floor, wooden walls. The wind is coming through. There's no windows. There's a small brazier in the center that's giving just like an eke of heat out. There's a table with a large number of books with sketches inside of them, and there's no bed. There's no cot. There is a large plank filled with nails in the corner. And the door opens a second time because you've got the 2 Spetsnaz on you, and Grigori, Rasputin's heir, comes in. And he nods to the left and the right, and the 2 soldiers glare at you, and they leave the shack. And the door closes, and Grigori reaches out his left hand and kind of raises it, and you see this large beam kind of rise up into the air, float down behind him, and slot into place, locking the door to the shack. Alone at last, Tyrannic.
Yes. Can I use my Sinister Secrets card to try and get some more info on him that might be helpful in this
Why
situation?
don't you roll your... Tell me, read for the chat what your Sinister Secrets card is.
Play to gain all the information available on some foe, mystery, or secret. Make a corruption test. And I don't know what a corruption test is.
Well, I'm very glad that you asked.
I just like to think as the door closes, soft saxophone starts playing in the background.
I think the jazz music is still playing,
Oh,
right?
it's true.
I feel like there's a saxophone. We have a long tradition of a saxophone. You know what I'm talking about, Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie, if you put on take 5 and it goes right on in your playlist, I think we're into saxophone territory for sure.
straight saxophone.
All right. You must give me a willpower or a spirit test.
Ooh, okay.
Is there any modifier to your... Let me pull up the Sinister Secrets card.
There's no modifier. And I got a 14.
All right. Well, you do not get a point of corruption, and nor is your charisma reduced by 1 permanently.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, corruption tests, not super great. All right, so I'm gonna give you a choice, Tyrannic. Whose sinister secrets do you want? Do you want Grigory's, or do you want the information out of the book?
The book that's sitting on his table?
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to know what's going on with Grigori.
All right. Play to gain all the information available on some faux mystery or secret. So Grigori kind of tilts his head from one side to the other. You can hear the cracking of vertebrae just sort of resonate out. And he smiles at you. You're not sure if he's trying to be reassuring or terrifying, but the yellowed teeth that are almost fang-like just kind of fill the space between the two dark black, coal black, like mustache and beard. You think that you have gained the upper hand. You don't know who I am, do you? Or what I am?
All I know is that we're on the same side in this. We need to put aside our petty differences.
We are. Listen, I may not know who Lapis is, or what her connection is to the one you call a fellow horseman. But I know for a fact you are no longer on her side, or mine.
Huh.
It has been, and he kind of cracks and stretches, 150 odd years since I have been here in what was my homeland. I've been around much longer than you, Tyrannic, much longer than this incarnation. This war. You see, what you know about me and what I am doing, what side I am on, would fill a thimble that would fit on my pinky. Since 1916, I have roamed the possible realities. Ones much like these. And I have come to understand much deeper truths. But you and your people, and the people who claim to be Russians,
Do I look Russian?
they are
I'm
nothing.
not Russian.
No, you are I will give it you a broad-shouldered dinos, but you are a dinos nonetheless.
I think I'll stretch and crack my bones to, to match his vibe.
Despite all of the possibilities of this world, despite all of the miracles and terrifying wonders they have suffered, they find it easier to believe that I am my own heir, as opposed to what I was and what I have become. Do you know much about the Gaunt Man, Tyrannic?
I've only heard rumors, and know he's allied with Rex Stelek, the evil one.
You would not believe. And he sort of reaches out, and he's got like the long yellow fingernails, and he sort of just kind of sets his hand on your shoulder. The power that the Gaunt Man possesses. He has already made me unkillable, even more so than I was. Only the true death can put me away, and for that you would find nothing in this Cosm or Thargold. You would have to go to someplace much darker. You keep saying you are on my side, Tyrannic, and believe me, within the cold hearth of my heart, cold ashes are stirring. But why? Why should I believe you? You have already betrayed Lapis, which is honestly of no concern to me. She is being dealt with.
You can't deny there's a connection between us.
No. He gives your shoulder a little squeeze.
And you know this connection is bigger than whatever petty wars are going on outside. Tell me what you're trying to do here. What are you doing in the crater?
I feel as if I can unburden my soul to you, Tyrannic. So, outside, what are you guys doing?
Are there still people about? I mean, we saw folks
There are still like the people, like you've sufficiently tricked the soldiers who were hunting you down. So from your vantage point, Edith, sort of, you fashioned a rudimentary ghillie suit as you've been moving through this forested landscape. Sometimes, V, you don't even know where Edith is. But these soldiers, you're kind of on the northern side of the area, all right? So if you're on the northern side, the soldiers are off on the northwest, like heading towards the rim, okay? So from where you're at, you can see like there's like 3 poor folk, a woman and 2 guys, and they're like, 2 of them are holding down the base of the pole that got knocked over by the truck, and the one guy is like shimmying out to try and get to the speakers, and like and they're kind of like starting to pull it back, and you can see that the shack has gone like is very quiescent. There's nothing going on here, nothing to see here, but there are 6 guards outside or 4 guards outside the shack. And what you notice is that they move. Again, it doesn't look like a concrete building. It looks like an old like Russian hovel. The 4 of them have moved around. One is standing at the door. One of each is standing on either side, and the other one is standing opposite the door. They're not dead on, if that makes sense. So it's kind of, they're like off a little bit. But it looks like they're just waiting for an excuse to fill that entire shack with as many bullets from their 98 and 94s that they can. There are also Lily, give me a find roll, Edith.
Not for any particular reason.
For poops and giggles.
A 15.
All right. So you can see that a large number of the guard squads kind of came out of the buildings. A chunk of them are in the woods. A lot of them are kind of guarding. They've like moved back down towards the dim thread trees, escorting the little bobcats that are carrying things away. Next to you, there are a pair of guards who are sort of kind of nominally keeping an eye on that trail that leads towards the fortified gate on the eastern side of the crater.
Have we been able to see what made the... Go ahead, Lily.
I'll find that later.
No.
Okay, Jim, and sneaking closer to the shed, have we been able to see or make out what was making the loud noise and causing the trees to shake?
No. But give me an evidence analysis roll, Genevieve. While she does that, she's going to let you guys all know that in the time since we started this session, the Oroth threat blips have already been unlocked, and they're moving well on their way to the threat cards for Orosh.
I'm going to spend a possibility on that, because I've got a few. Because I rolled a 7. Wow, that dice is going to chill. 13. Rolled one better.
So your guess from the resonance and the volume, it was louder than even the speakers. Your guess is that there was like it arose from the shaft.
Oh, so there's like... okay, cool. Edith, what do we think's down there if it made that big of a noise?
I mean, they're obviously trying to summon something huge, and I really, really do not want to meet it.
Right? Do we try and stop it? Do we save Tyrannic?
I mean, I feel like we need to save Tyrannic, although...
No one ever says, do we need to save the GM?
I mean, I don't want to poke the hornet's nest any more than we have. Like, if we try... Jim, where's Peaches at this point?
Good question.
Good question. You can see, as you look around, you don't see Peaches, but you know... Like, there's no evidence that anything bad happened to Peaches.
Okay. And you said we see convoys taking something from here back to the dim thread trees, correct?
Not convoys, just like a pair of bobcats with the little scoops up, and you can see that there's something from where you guys are at. You can see that in the bobcats, it's not dirt and it's not rock. There are large chunks of kind of a dull yellow material.
Okay. So do we create a diversion to get Tyrannic out of there, or do we wait a little bit?
I mean, so there's guards, so we're not going to get close enough to listen in, which is what I want to do.
Right.
I feel like I don't think that drawing their attention is going to be a winning strategy for us.
It didn't work before.
No. So, can we get in a position where we can see the entrance? I mean, we can only see the one side of this building, right? The structure.
The shed or the shaft?
Yeah, the shed.
Yeah, it's just, but it seems to be a small wooden shed, about 4 meters by 4 meters.
Okay.
Do we want to try and get a closer look at what's in those bobcats? What they're trying to move?
Yeah. So, do I know anything about what they might be trying to take to the dim thread trees?
You would have to get closer, but you've made your stealth roll. I'm not gonna, I tend to be let it ride, so I'm not gonna make you roll a new one. So if you guys want to sneak down to the dim thread trees and see what they're moving, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
All right, moving back into the forest like a shadow, Edith drags V back with her. I am here. I'm gonna jump back. Oh, go ahead.
It would have been so convenient if we'd set up like a signal with Peaches.
Oh, don't worry. I'm making find rolls for Peaches right now.
Only.
Well, yeah. But if we could just like whistle at Peaches and be like, tell Tyrannic where we're going.
Right.
Caca!
Exactly.
I mean, we'll listen for something, but I mean, I don't want to doubt Tyrannic's abilities to get himself out of a scrape. He is his own man. But if we start hearing a rumble, we'll go running. How about that?
The shack
Deal.
starts rocking. What I'm here for is simple, yet so much more than I can explain in the little time we have together. The second of the locks has been undone. But I do not have much time before I must return to Orosh. Tell me, your commander, the one who leads the Delphi Council, what do you know of him? How much do you know of him?
Not much, but we don't need to worry too much about him. Let's talk about us.
He is the key to this. It was his reason, his existence, along with other anomalies that became apparent as the year rolled on. Tyrannic, and he kind of grabs you by both shoulders. And he looks like right in your eyes. You can see like the whites of his eyes are yellow. He's wearing heavy coal around the upper, like on his eyes. There are remnants. And the source is one of those things. I, only I, know how to unlock it. Volkov is a means to an end. He's a fool. He believes it will give him the power to catapult him into the High Lord of Tharkol. finger kind of lingers on his lips as he wipes the spit away. He is a fool. Why settle for one world when you could have them all? The High Lords.
Do you serve the Gaunt Man, or are you trying to trick the Gaunt Man?
I would never cross the Gaunt Man. But even he only sees Core Earth as a stepping stone. Tyrannic. Beautiful tyrannic. Have you heard? No. You are from the living lands. It is said that sometimes when a star dies, it contracts in on itself, becoming harder, denser, more powerful than it was when it was alive. Dead cosms are the way to ascend to power, outside of the Gaunt Man's plans. And I have found one of those fragments, one of those remnants, an echo. With your help, we could unlock this power together.
And how would I fit into your big plans?
It's how we can fit into each other's plans. Like two pieces that do not look like they go together until brought close, and finally interlock, forming a larger picture. You, Tyrannic, on some level, with the Horsemen, you... I can't look at Maddie while I'm doing this. You wish to end the invasion of Core Earth. One word from me and your friends will survive. All I ask is that you continue along the path that you have been seeking. Yet keep an eye for me and for what I want. Those other horsemen, those other storm knights, of which Lapis... and he kind of looks over to the table and back to you. He was one. They too are looking for fragments, though they did not know it. I wish for you to tell me where the fragments are. That is the key to the fourth seal. You bring those to me, and I will get you and your friends out of here. Volkov will be here within the hour. Then, not even my affection for you will keep you safe.
Why do we have to play these games with Volkov? Why not eliminate him today?
Here is the thing. Volkov is a cruel tool, but he is keeping Tharkold in a state of chaos, which allows me to do what I need to in this cosm. Besides, while my guards will riddle this shack with bullets should I tell them to, and they will not hurt me more than an inconvenience, Volkov's men will not be as caring as mine. He prefers the closed fist to the open hand.
I noticed you're doing some light reading over here. What are you? Is it Harry Potter? What are you up to?
Well, that is a story for another time, Tyrannic. Mainly because you played your cousin card to find out more about me and not the book. You must make this decision soon. Again, I have
You should have batted your eyes harder.
just a little bit of time to spend with you before we must get you out of here. Meanwhile, outside. You guys sneak around to the dim thread trees, and you can see that again. There's a grouping of dim thread trees, and the most of the soldiers, now that they're here, they've kind of moved out around. You kind of weave your way through their patrols, and you can see there's like four, just kind of like four low-ranking soldiers, pistols in their holsters. They are currently taking out these large chunks, and they are putting them into what seem to be large wooden boxes filled with earth. And you can see as they kind of lift them up, they seem to be at first they just look like kind of amorphous stone masses made of the same yellow they're made of the same yellow material. But as they kind of pull them out, you can see that they what they actually look like is they look like bodies that are shrouded in something, and the shroud has turned to stone. And they are setting them in these wooden crates. They are putting them in the crates, nailing them down, sprinkling them with something first, and then loading them onto another one of those sleds. And they get about 3 of them loaded onto one of these essentially large wagons, and they start moving them down towards the dim thread tree. All 4 of them kind of each takes 2 to a sled. They kind of drag them down, leaving the bobcats unguarded.
Would either of us have ever heard anything about this, like, mummification, or is this something totally foreign to both of us?
This is something totally foreign to both of you. Although, Edith, you have heard stories in Oroche, whispers, really, of creatures so tied to the darkness and corruption that they're essentially immune to any normal death. They have to suffer a true death, one that's linked to their story, some fatal flaw that has been baked into who they were and who they became after corruption. Who knows? Maybe someday that'll be where Malachi is at. That was for the chat, not necessarily for you guys. But you do know that in some cases, maybe not exactly like this, but there are ways for these sorts of beings of evil to survive beyond like a mortal death. You're not sure if this is the same thing, but it is awfully strange.
Okay, don't touch those.
Yeah, did they touch them to move them, or no? Like, to put them in the boxes, did they physically touch them?
They have thick leather gloves on.
Okay, I missed that. Okay. Oh, well, that's unsettling.
Do villains have OSHA? I'm sure that that's not appropriate PPE.
No, not at all. Like, we talked about how that one little ramp had no guardrails or anything. Like,
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, the pit had no guardrail, so safety is not. Okay, so they're taking the dead but undead. There's a loud noise in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of dim thread trees here, right?
Yep, but they like most of the tracks seem to go like at least of the sled tracks seem to go into the same area.
Do we get a feeling off of the various dim thread trees that they lead to different places?
That would be a good guess.
Okay.
So this is the transportation hub. And they're moving whatever is left here out.
Yeah, so I think this is how the monsters are crossing the barriers that should keep them in Oroche. And that's why there have been, monster issues in Core Earth and Tharkold.
Do we see any mining materials that they could have used to open up this pit?
Oh yeah, you saw the huge excavators last week that were used to sort of bore down.
Did we see any explosives that they may have used?
No, you didn't see any explosives.
Okay, they just used the machines.
Yeah, if there are explosives, they're probably in, in one of the buildings.
Okay. Because I was wondering if we should, try and take out some of these trees so the monsters can't keep spreading.
Last time we took down a dim thread tree, it took a significant amount of effort, and I'm not sure we can do that repeatedly.
Oh, have we heard anything from Anton and Salvo?
You have not.
Okay. Okay, Edith. So we've got dim thread trees. We've got bobcats that are currently unattended. I like how that was just sprinkled in.
Can we disable the bobcats?
I mean, you're no scientist, Edith, but let's be honest, you're really good at breaking things. So, should you want to break them, yes, you may.
I feel like the bobcats are allowing them to move things to places that maybe they shouldn't be. And, I mean, if we disable the bobcats, they'll know we're here, but...
But they already know we're here?
They already know we're here, yeah, so...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can sneak over there and see what we can maybe do with the bobcats.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this more of a, I want to, pull the distributor cap, sort of like a mind-based roll, or is this a Edith smash sort of strength-based?
Two, so, we could each take one.
I mean, at this point, I have discovered that electronic things don't work so good when you disconnect them or smash them or shock them, and yeah, pretty much smashing.
All right. So, Maddie, if you want to give me a science or a mind roll, and Edith, if you want to give me a... Just give me a strength roll, Edith.
Not with that die, because that one's in timeout.
All of mine are in timeout right now. It's totally fine.
All of them?
Well, I've gone through 2 so far.
How do you feel about a 10?
A 10 is what you needed, so I feel pretty good about it. Now, here's the thing. A 10 will get you to, it'll be disabled, but somebody can fix it pretty quickly. A 15 is you've wrecked it for about an hour, and a 20 is that thing will never run again. It's your choice.
You have to be kidding me.
All of your dice are in timeout?
I rolled a 5 and then a 4 for a whopping total of 9.
That's a 15.
Nope, she played the card last time that says
Oh.
you don't get explosions when you spend possibilities. So what did you get? What was your total again, Genevieve?
9.
Yeah, you're pretty convinced this thing is toast.
Perfect.
Edith, yours is like suitably disabled for the time being.
Okay.
Join me, Tyrannic. We can bring the gaunt man and Volkov to his knees. We can
Grigori,
share.
you're not seeing the bigger picture. Have you been to Mexico? Come back with me to the Living Lands. Let's just throw all this foolishness behind us.
No, we will go to Orosh. We will spend some time together before the next step of my plan.
But what's the next step of your plan? I mean, there can't be any secrets between us.
You must make a decision here quickly, Tyrannic. As I said, the window where I can save you, and if need be your friends, is closing.
Can my friends come with us?
I will weep over your dead body if I must. Raising you as a zombie is just not the same, but it is within my power. What was that?
Can my friends come with us?
As long as you speak nothing of what we said, I need you as a vole. A vole? No, some sort of small burrowing creature. Oh, a vole is a small burrowing creature. No, a mole. That is what I'm thinking. A mole within the Horsemen and the Delphi Council. Tell me, search your feelings. You know it to be true. There is a connection between us.
There is a connection between us. How much time do we have?
He doesn't have a watch. Why am I looking at my watch?
Are you watching?
We have, and that's when you all hear it. The sound from the gates. The rattling as the massive concrete barriers are being pulled back. Not enough, my love. Not enough. Shall I raise you from the dead after we remove the bullets?
No,
Or
thank
should
you.
we try and get you out of here? Do I have your word? Your word, Tyrannic, on the feelings you bear for me? That you will work with me.
Yes, you have my word. If you promise, you will work with me.
Of course. I will help you bring down Volkov and Lapis. Then we will use their corpses to pave a path to greatness.
Okay.
Come
All right. Well,
with
let's
me.
go get my friends.
1 second. And he reaches out and he slams his hands on both sides of your face. And you feel a lancing fire go through your skull. And Grigori's eyes roll back up into his head. And suddenly you are looking out of Peaches' eyes. Find your friends quickly, Tyrannic. Give me a find roll for Peaches there, Michael.
Whoa, this is the worst date Tyrannic has ever been on.
Whoa.
Oh man, okay.
Listen, you caught him off guard. He didn't have time to clean up the shack. You know, that other guy in his life just rolled up with a convoy of soldiers. Like, this is not Grigori's best day for a date. But I think he's,
Yeah. Let's be honest though. When was the last time Grigori had a date? Has it been 100 years?
I mean, he got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Before
it's
before
been closer
he
to
shot.
200 years. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
he's a little rusty. 200 years,
Right.
possibly a different reality. I mean, give the guy a break.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Tyrannic's into it. We're vibing. 15.
All right, you you through Grigori's connection to you and your connection to Peaches, you fly around, and what you can clearly see is that Genevieve is sitting in a bobcat. Yeah, it's broken. Meanwhile, there's like smoke and sparks coming from the one that Edith has like been rocking back and forth, and the connection is broken. We must hurry. Come, and he grabs your hand, and he pauses and looks back at you, and then he heads out the door. Genevieve, you and Edith, Peaches lands on your. He's doing. I've said it before, and I will say it again. We have the best chat in the world. Peaches is just kind of staring at you. He's like looking down through the cage of the bobcat at you, giving you the pterodactyl head tilt. Ah!
I'm not sure what's going on, but I found Peaches.
Hey. What's up, Peaches?
Doing like the Lassie thing, like Timmy's in a well, like that kind of vibe.
I'll see if I have some like food in my pocket to try and feed Peaches.
Mr. Furious, you just earned a possibility point.
I feel like this game is going so far off the rails. We're almost back.
Yeah, as you guys if you guys try to like move away from the bobcat, Peaches gets on the ground, draws himself up, swoops his wings out, and is trying to sort of herd you like a sheep pterodactyl to kind of keep you in this area. Even though you can hear like they're playing like loud music as they're coming through, something stirring and suitably Russian. You can hear the sound of like honking horns and the like Volkov has arrived.
Do we need to? Should we get out of here?
It kind of doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I feel like we're being herded, but I don't know where we're being herded to.
I mean, the only person Peaches listens to is Tyrannic, so I'm not super concerned about it. But let's be ready.
Okay. I'm going to take a defensive position behind the bobcat that I think I have wrecked.
Yeah, we're gonna take cover.
Okay, so as you take cover, you sit there and wait. As you wait, 2 of the 4 people come back out of the dim thread tree. One of them's like, "Oh, what happened to my ride?" And the other one's like, "I don't know." And they just turn theirs on. The one that you were in, Genevieve.
Yeah.
You know how bad these old things are. Let's just grab onto the back of mine. We'll head back. We'll get one of the engineers to fix it. Stupid piece of American junk! And he kicks the side of it. And the bobcat, the guy gets on the back, and you can see he's a little bit more excited than he should be, and he kind of rocks back, and then the bobcat tears off. And about 2 minutes later, you can hear, kind of simultaneously, a crunching noise as somebody walks through the woods, and the sound over the speakers. President Volkov has arrived. Everyone present yourselves for inspection. Grigori, please report to the chief officer's building. Again, President Volkov has arrived in a most glorious fashion. But you two see Peaches and Tyrannic and Grigori walk into the glade around the dim thread trees. Now you understand, Tyrannic. That is the one, and he points to the one that, not the one that everything went through, but the one next to it. Go through there. Tell them I sent you. There is a small inn not far from when the dim tree exits. You will be in Eau Roche. The inn is called the Grey Ferret. Wait for me there. I will send word. And then, to your surprise, Grigori embraces Tyrannic, kind of pats, gives him a big hug. Kind of pulls back, kisses him on each cheek, stares deeply into his eyes. Do you have anything to say to Grigori Tyrannic?
I will wait for you there. Do you have a token I can remember you by?
I cannot go with you. I will not meet you there. I will send word. But, kind of... And he pulls out a small little silver almost looks like a silver book. It's got a hinge on it. I will come for this someday, Tyrannic. But I will take it and you away from everything.
Thank you. And I pull out a large uncut gem from the Living Lands and give that to him.
I must go. Your friends, according to your lizard, is here. And he heads off, back towards the camp.
All right. Well, time to go. I guess I look for Peaches and my friends.
Oh, Peaches is very excited to see you.
Yes. I'll explain later. Let's go.
Okay. Does Tyrannic look ill or mentally unstable or mentally altered in any way?
Give me your sense mental instability skill check. But you have to have an add in it, otherwise you can't roll it. I'm sorry. He seems
the first time my die rolled over a 10 all night. I have evidence analysis. I think that counts.
You got some pretty damning evidence. Dude just hugged and kissed Grigori, Rasputin's heir, Volkov's #1 hand man, and somehow got out of that shack unharmed. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm giving Tyrannic a really odd look.
Let's go.
Where are we going?
Yeah, where are we going?
The Great Ferret. Come on, let's go.
What's the Grey Ferret?
I don't have time for all these questions. Let's go.
Do I know what the Grey Ferret is?
Oh, yeah.
You do know the Grey Ferret. The Grey Ferret is sort of a rough translation of an inn that you know that is frequented by ne'er-do-wells, travelers, that sort of thing. It's in Oroche, and yeah, it is a way station, a traveler's inn. The Queen's army is encamped about it, but it's sort of a... Edith, you know it as one of those places where if you need something bad enough, and price is no barrier, well, someone at the Ferret can get it for you. You may not like how they get it, but most people who go there don't care about the how, only about whether they get it or not.
Okay.
Let's go. Life is complicated sometimes. Peaches, you're still my #1. Let's get out of here.
I mean, I don't know that I really want to stay here if Steel's already broken and Volkov is here. I don't know if I like this new dynamic, but I don't really have a reason to stay. Do you, Edith? I mean,
At least I'll know what's going on, maybe sometimes when we're in Oroche.
Right. He might have a better idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Peaches and I go through the tree.
All right.
I blow a kiss in the wind as I leave.
Genevieve and Edith, it's really strange, but that's what happens. What do the rest of you do?
I mean, I will try and calm Anton and Salvo and just be like, we're heading through a dim tree, trying to make it to a Roche. Follow if you can.
Okay.
Tyrannic's gone a little weird.
Title of the episode.
All right.
And I'll follow him through.
Edith? What are you doing?
I mean, also following. I want to take a closer look at the dim thread tree before I go through, though.
All right. Give me a mind roll, and what are you looking for?
I mean, anything that I can figure out about how this tree got here, or who, what it's been used for, or.
All right, give me a
anything.
find roll.
A find roll, you say?
Mm-hmm.
14.
All right. Well, you clearly see the person still keeping the tree alive. You know how that works.
Yeah.
But you can clearly tell that there are no. There was never any heavy equipment. This isn't a large enough. This was only for people moving in and out. And do you want to spend anything to get to 15, just out of curiosity?
I can spend a drama card to get to 15.
Okay, but you've got to say it.
I spend a drama card to get to 15. Oh yeah, drama!
You kind of catch a whiff of something. You look up. You pull from the bark a tuft of fur. Definitely matches that of your cloak, or of your monster hunter duster.
Okay. I am tempted to, end the dim thread tree, but I worry that Salvo and Anton cannot follow us if I do that.
All right. Well, you pass through the dim thread tree. We'll do a little bit of a screen wipe. Crack of thunder. You can hear the sound of rain pounding on a roof. And it says 3 weeks later. 3 travelers sit in the Grey Ferret, hoods drawn up over their head. It's this rough and tumble bar/inn in Oroche. You can see members of the army passed out in their cups. Several people are cheating at cards. A small, the 7th bar fight of the night has broken out. Thankfully, you still don't know how. And I'm not sure if he's shared. But Tyrannic was able to get you rooms here by dropping some names. Thunderstorm has rolled in. It's been raining for the last several hours. It's cold. It's damp. This inn links, and it stinks. And the door to the inn opens, and 2 people kind of come in, lightning flashing behind them. They shake the water from their traveling cloaks. They look around the inn. They move to your table. And sitting down, Anton and Lady Salvo open their mouths to ask for an explanation. But meanwhile, moments after our horsemen enter through the dim thread tree, walking up the path back to the camp, still unsure of these feelings raging through his chest, Grigori pauses as if hearing something, turns around, snatches something from the air, and brings it close to his heart as he moves back up the path to meet with Volkov. And honestly, that's where I'm going to stop for tonight, because I desperately need the other horsemen here next week. Michael,
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was a weird one. So I apologize if needed. But
no,
yeah.
We at Iconic have a saying that we love to say, which is the dice tell a story. But in Torg, the cards are way more influential than the dice.
Mm-hmm.
So, in 2 weeks, we will be back with more Torg, the episode where the Horsemen are finally reunited. I don't think you guys have all been in the same group since December of last year. Maybe November. It's been a while when you guys split up.
Yeah.
Michael, Maddie, and Lily, thank you so much. This was as delightful for me, I hope, as it was for you. I love the fact that I can't plan a whole lot for Torg because one card can change everything, and 2 of them were played tonight. So, enjoy 5 experience points. What does that bring your total up to?
Are we 55 or 60?
It'd be 65 if we get 5.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So 65 is where you guys are at. I will ensure that Anton and Lady Salvo are there as well. Just so everyone knows, we have a ton of Torg planned for 2021. There is no end in sight to this. And I can promise, though, there will be weeks where the horsemen earn a well-deserved rest. But Maddie, there's no rest for the wicked. And say what you want about the B team, but at least one of them is wicked. And the other one can smell it. So I think it works out. So we got a ton of great Torg planned for you this year. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, check out the Orosh crowdfunding on GameOnTabletop.com. I will be your guide through this. Every time we start and end the session, we'll talk about where it's at. It hasn't creeped much up, but it has broke 60,000, so it's already a sure thing. If you go and support, I love the way that they do their crowdfunding, Ulysses, because you can go a la carte and just say, I just need these things, or you can go all in and get the monster crate and the monster or the collector's edition. When I get mine in, my son Zane and I are going to do a unboxing video that we'll post on the Iconic channel if you're interested. My son Zane has fallen deeply in love with Torg and made like 5 characters this weekend and wants to play all of them. So check out the Orosh crowdfunding. Check out all the other great shows on the Ulysses International channel. We're coming back with the crew of the Oh Boy. They're going to finally make it to Shop Route this Thursday, and I'm super excited. We got a ton of great shows planned for you for the Fading Suns story arcs. We've got a bunch of great things on the Ulysses channel, like the New World show, where you can find out just all of the cool things that Ulysses is doing and has coming down the pipeline. You can check out shows on both the Myth board game and the Myth role-playing game. There's a ton of great material out there. Please check it out. Please, if you like us, if you like what we do, come over and check out the Iconic production channel as well. That's us. That's our dragon in the corner down there. And we will see you all in 2 weeks for more Torg. Until next time, chat again. I adore you. You guys have kept all of us laughing to the point that I could not look at my players because they were laughing so hard. So, if you were in the chat tonight, just take another possibility, because that was spectacular. Hey, JD and Phantom of Truth, thank you so much for everything you do for us. We could not do this without you guys who watch, and without our support staff. Thank you so much. And a shout out to Becca for creating such a great character in Lapis that has become such a vital villain to the group. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. I am JM the GM. This is the Torg actual play that we do on the Ulysses International channel, and these are my players. Have a good one, everyone.